By the time I realized the locks in the Blanchard house were turning by themselves, it was already too late. The thing inside didn't just want me out, it wanted me trapped with it. The first time it happened, I blamed the wind. Maine nights are cruel in October. The kind of cold that slithers under doors and gnaws at the bones. I was alone in the old Blanchard house, inherited, unwanted, sipping bourbon to keep the chill out. The locks clicked shut at exactly 3:17 a.m. Not the deadbolt, not the chain. All of them, every door in the house sealed at once, like jaws snapping shut. I sat up in bed, the glass slipping from my fingers, shattering on the hardwood. The sound was too loud in the silence. Just the wind, I told myself. Just the goddamn wind. But the Blanchard house had stood for 120 years, and not once had the wind ever turned a lock. I got up, bare feet flinching against the cold floor, and checked the front door. Locked. The back door. Locked. The cellar door, which had always stuck, now shut tight. The old iron key turned firmly in place. I told myself I must have done it in my sleep. Sleepwalking. Stress. Anything but what my gut was whispering. I went back to bed. That was my first mistake. The second night, I heard the breathing. A wet, rattling sound, like lungs full of swamp water. It came from behind the cellar door. I sat up, heart hammering, and stared into the dark. The house was too quiet. No settling beams. Just that breathing. Then the doorknob jiggled. Not the way wind moves things, no, the way fingers move things. Slow. Testing. I didn't scream. Fear had locked my throat shut, same as the doors. I didn't sleep. By dawn, the breathing had stopped. The cellar door was still locked. I should have left then. But I didn't. By the third night, the house stank of damp earth and something older. Something that had been buried long before the Blanchards ever laid their foundation. I sat at the kitchen table, a shotgun across my lap, bourbon in my hand. I wasn't a drinking man, not really, but some nights demand it. At 3:17 a.m., the locks turned again. This time, I saw it. The brass knob on the front door twisted clockwise with no hand to turn it. Then the knocking started. 3 soft raps. Pause. 3 more. The rhythm of a thing that remembered being human. I stood, the chair screeching behind me, and pressed my ear to the wood. The voice on the other side was a frayed thread of sound. Let me in. I swallowed. Who are you? Silence. Then, you know me. I didn't, but the house did. The shotgun trembled in my hands. I don't know what made me go down there. Maybe the same thing that makes men poke dead things with sticks. Some part of us always wants to see the monster. The cellar door was unlocked. It shouldn't have been. The steps groaned under my weight. The air was thick with the smell of wet soil and something else, copper maybe. Old blood. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, landing on the far wall. There were names carved into the stone. Dozens of them. Some fresh, some so old the letters had worn smooth. One stood out. Thomas Blanchard, 1889. My great-great-grandfather. The knocking started again, but this time, it wasn't coming from the front door. It was coming from beneath me. Something was under the cellar. And it was scratching its way up. I ran. Up the stairs, through the kitchen, toward the front door. It was locked. All of them were. The breathing returned, louder now, bubbling up from the cellar stairs. The shotgun was useless. You can't shoot what's already dead. The voice came again, not from the door this time, but from inside the house. You shouldn't have come back, John. I never told it my name. The last thing I saw before the lights went out was the cellar door swinging open, and something crawling out, something with too many teeth. They found me 3 days later. wandering Route 9 in nothing but my underwear, babbling about locked doors and things that whisper. The doctors called it psychosis. The cops called it bourbon. But old Mrs. Henderson at the end of the lane, she knew. She took one look at me, crossed herself, and whispered, "The Blanchard curse got another one. They tore the house down last summer." But sometimes, at 3:17 a.m., I still hear the locks turn. And the knocking. Always the knocking. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying stories and paranormal investigations. See you in the next video. If you dare.